5 seconds.
Stage fright.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Freyholtz. I'd like to share a little bit of information about myself. As I lived in Germany for many years, and at the job I was profession I was doing at the time, I encountered on a daily basis that there's more importance of using and care of hand tools in this job. So I'll be speaking on a topic of the use and care of hand tools and power tools. So I'll begin with the safety and the equipment safety. No matter how small a job is, safety at all times. We also have it's a very important factor, safety, in the use of hand tools and power tools. Can never be overemphasized. Okay. Recent statistics show that each day 2,000 U.S. workers have had job-related eye injuries that require medical treatment. And in 2008 alone, 5,071 workers have died on the job. Next, I will touch briefly on personal protective equipment. Using PPE for all jobs, the correct PPE, personal protective equipment, and keeping it ready available at all times. Because at instant's notice, you have to have that available. So selecting personal protective equipment can mean the difference between losing an eye or a finger. For instance, in 2000, back up. For instance, about 2,000 U.S. employees have eye-related injuries on a daily basis by improper wear and use of safety glasses. Proper eye protection can be used during any kind of work activity, to include just driving a garden tractor, laying underneath a vehicle, protect your eyes from dust, weed eating, those similar activities. Many organizations are required to have safety boards available for their employees. In fact, it is the duty of their managers to make sure that PPE equipment is present for safety training at all times. Here's an example of how important safety glasses are. We have an example here, shows that this soldier here got hit by an IED. Had he not had his ballistic wear on, he may not have his eyes today. He may not be able to see. So it's a good thing that he had his ballistic wear on. That's just one of many examples that could be used. I'm going to go over to use of tools in a safe manner will also prevent life, limb, bodily harm when used correctly. However, when not used correctly, you may get hurt, like myself. I was using a hacksaw, fixing the axe, and by improperly holding this axe blade, it slipped and cut my finger right down to the bone. And to this day, I have no more feeling in that finger. So you have to be conscious of what we're doing, how we do it, when we do it, and if we have the proper equipment for the corresponding job. Well, I also have another example is when I had one of my friends, he was working on a piece of equipment, and he stuck his hands up on underneath these dashes, and he was working around, and he pulled his hand back out. His ring, he had his wedding ring on. He melted his wedding ring to his finger, and we were looking for a pair of diagonal cutters to cut it off. That brings me to the next topic. You know, if you don't take it off, it'll get taken off for you. So we have to be very cautious of what we do, because finger is easily lost, an eye, limb, and you can't get complacent. You have to think about those things as we are doing them. You don't get new fingers. We're not that far in technology yet. Use of hand and power tools. Wrenches are one of the most widely used tools. They're used to provide mechanical leverage, bolts, hex screws, screwdrivers, a whole wide variety of things. Their main function is for holding and turning nuts, screws, cap screws, like I just said. Select the proper wrench, screwdriver that is appropriate for that job that you're doing. Most mechanical operations require the use of wrenches, and there are many occasions which the operator will use for purpose of turning bolts. A general rule is, when using wrenches, always ensure that they're kept in place and away from moving parts or electrical equipment to prevent shock. The proper equipment, the right size of the equipment, the tools will keep you from stripping out the heads of bolts, thus busting your knuckles, running in your fingers, jamming your thumbs. So always use the correct equipment. Use of power tools. The serviceability of operating power tools is a hazard, and the hazards of operating power tools. Common maintenance checks are suggested before using power tools. Check for leaks. Check for electrical connections. Check the cables. Make sure they're not the rubber's not rubbed raw the wire. There are three common types of electrical tools, power tools: electrical, pneumatic, and gas. If your electrical power tool is to be used, caution must be taken to reduce the chance of electrical shock. Along with this, I have a few quotes. With every one of these fatalities, the lives of workers' family members were shattered and forever changed. We can't forget the fact. Hilda Sloas, Secretary of Labor. The door of safety swings on hinges of common sense. Safety is state of mind. Accidents are an absence of mind. Better safe than sorry. So in review, by taking care of hand and power tools, you'll be less prone to personal injury, damage, or equipment. In this presentation, you have learned the basic care and use of power hand tools. Resources for this speech have been taken from the National Institute of Occupational Safety, the National Safety and Health Administration, better known as OSHA, and Technical Manual 9-243. At this time, are there any questions? None. This concludes this presentation. Thank you for attending.
Okay, give him a hand. That's it for everyone filled out their attendance roster.